All right, peace, family. This is Brandon B. Dixon, and you tuned into another episode of the Power of Ownership podcast. We're coming live here on YouTube. We're live on Spotify, Apple, and Google Podcasts. So I got my co-host Stephen Contreras in the building.
Hey, how are you guys doing? Happy New Year.
Yes, sir. And we're getting ready to kick off the second show this year. Um, let's go ahead and start off with the introductions. As we do normally do. My name is Brandon B. Dixon. I am a serial entrepreneur, broker, community activist, published author, um, so on and so forth. My book, Sales the Nucleus of Any Profession, is out right now on Amazon and Barnes and Nobles. Again, it's mortgage season, so I've been swamped like hell, like crazy, getting everybody. I don't know, for some reason, as soon as 2020 hit, a lot of people I've been getting ready for mortgages. So if you want to get ready to move this year, www.hocmortgage.com. I also am a sales trainer, accountability coach, mentor, so on and so forth. A lot of people have been asking me to mentor them in 2020. I'm only taking on two mentees this year. So, but if you want me to sales train, so on and so forth, www.billionaireloanofficer.com. Also, follow us on all the social media at Being a Loan Officer on YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, all of the above. Steve, go ahead and tell them where they can find you. I know it's Steven _ Contreras _ 90 on Instagram. What else
Yeah,
you
and
got?
then on Facebook too, just Stephen Contreras on Facebook. I have about 1,000 followers on Facebook. So
Uh-huh.
just send the request and I'll add you guys. So
Right. So we need to get that up, man. Need to get that the 1,000 up on at least to get to 5,000 friends, 5,000 followers. You're maxed out,
yeah, that's
So
maxed out 5,000.
right. So, but you could, and you got unlimited followers that you get. You get 5,000 friends, but you get unlimited followers.
Okay.
Well, yeah. So, um, yeah. So with that, go ahead and follow Stephen Contreras. He likes to travel. What else you like? Tell him what you do that's interesting that might, whet their beak on following you.
Yeah, I mean, I like talking just anything, pretty much. I study the world for fun. I like to be outside. I rock climb. I wrestle. I'm always staying pretty active. I've been doing this new thing where you sit in a sauna for 265 degrees for 25 minutes and then jump in an ice bath at 28 degrees for 3 minutes and 30 seconds, trying to access those higher level enzymes. Yeah, I read a lot, just trying to be one with nature, peace and love always. Even in a time of craziness, what the world is today, there's always a little bit of hope.
Gotcha. So again, let's start off with the show, the Power of Ownership podcast. If this is your first time tuning in, we talk about um really the better in lives. We talk about ownership not only of properties, businesses, intellectual properties, but we talk about ownership of the mind, body, and soul, and how to bridge the gap between the unseen and seen realms, and try to how to bring things from the unseen realms and bring it into the seen realm and bring it into fruition. Learning how to trust yourself as the number one source. So if you can learn to trust yourself as the number one source instead of doing what been taught for so long, to trust other sources, other people's mind, and to try to shape your reality, then you're onto something. Am I making sense here?
Oh yeah, for sure. You gotta be one with nature, one with everything, just understanding the surroundings. And it's a good segue on what we're going to be talking about today. But everything vibrates, everything has a frequency, and it's up to us to be able to pay attention to those frequencies all around us.
Right. So let's talk about the topic at hand. Actually, let me put a question mark on here. I thought I had one. Hold on a second. Let me see. I thought I had one up in here. Doesn't want to save it, but that's fine. You get what I'm saying. So, how do frequencies affect your day to day? And go ahead, break it down. What? Go ahead, break it down. We're gonna talk about frequencies all day. We're not gonna keep you too long, maybe 30 minutes, because short attention span is rampant in our community. But let's talk about what is frequency for those who don't know, and how does it affect your day to day activity?
Yeah, just starting off with just basics. Everything vibrates. Everything has its own tuned frequency, from animals to trees to like the whole bacteria families and things like that. And even non-alive objects. Everything has a frequency. To the tables, to the food that we put in our bodies, everything is vibrating at all times. And don't ever forget that it's not vibrating either. So like everything is a frequency. And when I say that, it's literally everything, like from a piece of paper to the nitrogen in the air. Like everything is moving at all times. And once you realize that you're moving with everything else that is moving, you can tune into different frequencies. And depending on if you notice these frequencies, they can change the outcome of your day, internally or externally. You just have to be aware of what's going on around you.
Right. Just taking a step back for those, for novices, because again, I want to get a little bit more, because we attract the more of the nerd crowd, so which is great. That's why your vibe, your frequency finds your vibe finds your tribe. But I want to get a little bit more to the novices that might not understand what we're talking about with frequency. Let me break it down a different way. You guys could Google this, audience. Y'all could Google this. Just put in the double blind slit experiment. And it was an experiment to try to prove that, how the behavior of particles. So they took basically, I'm gonna sum it up real fast for you. They had an experiment where they took part of an atom, which is the particle, maybe a proton or a neutron, and they shot it through a slit, across the room, and it behaved, on the other side of that slit, which let's say goes up and down vertical. It went in a vertical line like it was supposed to. It behaved like it was supposed to. It behaved as matter. Um, what happened when they took the recording device away and didn't pay attention to it and let the simulation run overnight is that it had distortion patterns like a wave. So it would go through some kind of way, it would go through and be on the other side all sporadic, like a wave pattern. So they, didn't play with it. They all right, I'm gonna put two slits. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna put the recording device here, recording device there. Basically, they came to the conclusion that when we're not observing particles, they are actually energy.
Yeah.
Everything is energy until our consciousness makes it solid and makes it shapes it to a certain reality, which we all agree upon. So, did I explain that correctly?
Yeah, it's like what makes the table a table. It's just how we see the table is why we
Right.
call it a table.
So
Yeah.
our consciousness, man being mind, man not being the body, man being mind and consciousness itself, creates this particular third density reality by an agreement that we agree that this is what this is. So it's only our consciousness that makes this real. So as what Stephen Contreras was saying, as far as vibrating on a frequency, that wave, each one of these energies have their different frequency that they vibrate on that makes them that you can comprehend. As you vibrate higher, you're able to see and be in tune with more of a spectrum. Is that making it clear enough to people, or is am I still up there?
Yeah, yeah. It's like just to go back a little bit. It's like human beings operate at 432 hertz
Right.
naturally. It's comforting is that setting for us, and so no matter what, we're always vibrating at 432 in a natural state. Like you said, we can go up or down if we choose to, but most people choose to stay at 432, and that's how they operate. And you can move. And a little fun fact just about frequency: all the frequencies that evolve with humans, they'll always equal up to the number nine. Nine is the frequency where like 432, 7 plus 2 equals 9. There's a 5, what's 538, something like that. It's like they all equal 9 no matter which scale the spectrum you're vibrating on. And so a good place to start is just with ourselves at 432 and be able to understand what vibration and what frequencies are and how we register them, I guess, is the
Well,
best way to
I got
start.
a slight twist on that. See if you can follow me. And I know I wanted to take it to the lower end where, even the people that was vibrating on the lower frequency can
Like
understand.
180, yeah.
Right. So my thing is this, is that the human experience itself, the body or the perception of the fractal oneness, the fractal individual and not the oneness, is the lowest vibration one of the lowest vibrations that you could get. That is us vibrating at a low frequency. As you start vibrating high and starting getting in tune, just like an AM and FM radio, so when you tune into that frequency, now you're able to hear that transmission. Does that make sense?
Oh, yeah, for sure. So
So,
people only listen when they want to listen.
right. So the human experience, it starts off, we're at the lowest that we can get. We're down on the bottom. We're at the AM or whatever. Boom. We're at the lowest frequency. And as we get older, as we learn to go back to our original nature, it bumps up and up. Some people get stuck at, like you said, the 432. Some people go on to even more enlightenment, get in tune to even more and more things that you can't see if you're vibrating low, or you can't tune into if you're vibrating low. Am I making sense? So
Yeah.
the slight twist to that is that I think the human experience is the lowest that you can get. And this is like the base. And I think it's contrary to popular belief. We think we're at the top of the food chain. And it's actually, this is probably one of the easiest um things that we could do.
It's the easiest place to be is here. Yeah.
Right. So this is one of the easiest and lowest vibrations. This is like the base level. We're in first grade, with doing this. Am I making sense at all with this?
Oh yeah, for sure. It's
You
just
know,
it's just how we see things is based on frequency, and if we can comprehend what we're looking at.
well, the thing is, this is what and this is the reason behind the rhyme behind the reason. Um, is that lately, especially all of 2020, I've been coming across people that just can't comprehend. They're just not in tune with what I'm saying. I'm just on a different realm. I'm just in a different. I just vibrate different. Only, and that's life. Really, once you get to this level, you will see like not many people could comprehend what you're saying. It just is what it is. And you have to. We got to come like in disguise to kind of fit in and blend in. You know what I mean? Because and one more step further, me analyzing why am I on a different frequency? Because I never thought I was that super duper smart. I used to be in Mensa and all that stuff. I knew I was above average, but I'm really seeing the divide in intellectual prowess. Prowess. It's just a big gap. And I was just analyzing like, why can't people see the basics?
Yeah.
So my thing is like I think, and this is what I want to talk about on the show, is that I think that certain people are incapable of vibrating high. It's almost like you're running on Windows 95 and you're trying to do, a live stream on Windows 95, and the software is not there.
Yeah.
Am I making sense?
Yeah,
Chime in
for
on that.
sure.
What do you think about that theory right there?
Yeah, it's good. It's difficult sometimes. I mean, it's like you say, like interactions in general. That's why people, like you said, your vibe is your tribe. It's true because we think the same way. Like it's hard to relate to different vibrations. It takes a lot of effort to like lower your vibration once it's already pretty high to come down to other people's level. And sometimes people will get offended by it too, and you don't mean to be that way, right? It's just like we're in outer space, and you're asking us to come down to Earth for a second. It takes a lot of effort to be able to like vibrate to the frequencies to relate to people in general sometimes, and it's hard, and that's how life is in general though, because you keep on maturing, you keep on moving, you keep on learning. And a lot of people like stop learning, and that's a big problem. Is like they're comfortable with how much they've learned already, and they don't like to push it further. And just on my travels in general, I'll just use a reference about my journeys. Like I got to a point where it's like, holy crap, I think I figured it all out, and slapped with some humility. And it's like, no, man, you still got a lot of ways to figure out how this thing works. And so, even when you think you've gotten to a point of frequency, there's always a higher frequency.
Yeah, I think this fractal reality that we agreed upon entering. There's only so much you could do anyway. Just like a baby in the womb, there's only so much you can comprehend on what's going on in and outside the womb. You have no knowledge of what's going on outside the womb yet.
Yeah,
So just like with this, we basically still trying to figure out what's inside the womb. So the outside the womb is a whole other realm. So you have no clue. People that think they got it all figured out, you have no clue of what's going on.
yeah,
So we're still trying to figure out what's in this particular realm. You see?
yeah. Yeah, a smart man once told me, it's like, if you've got it all figured out, why are you still here?
Right.
Man, I've always taken that to heart because it's true. If we weren't, we're all here for a reason. And that comes down to vibration. And a cool thing about just overall day to day stuff too is once you figure out how things move and vibrate around you, it makes
Mhm.
things a lot easier.
Well, that's what I want to tie it to, because a lot of people, we have a lot of business people that follow us, and our audience is business people. They were like, "Well, y'all done went too woo woo on me." Nah, it's how does this relate to business? How does this relate to ownership? First of all, it relates to ownership of yourself. If you don't understand the components of yourself, how can you own the mind, body, and soul if you don't understand what mind is? Understand that how your mind works is it's almost like like I said, a transmitter, AM, FM. So when you're in tune to certain stuff, you can hear certain stuff clearly, and you can hear certain messages. And as you go up that ladder, you can get in tune with more and more stations. So and if your block, your signal is groggy or foggy, then you only can see here only a couple of stations.
Mhm.
So what does this have to do with business ownership? Is that once you work on yourself and you chip away at your ashlar, what I mean by that is that you chip away at your you better yourself. You will want to see and you want to hire people that's on your same frequency that can hear your message clearly, and you're able to identify people that's incapable of hearing this particular message. So when you identify that these people that can't hear you, now you can make your judgment accordingly if you want to have them incorporated into your business, if you want to partner with business with them, or if you want to have them as an employee or have them around in general. So it has a lot to do with ownership. If you don't, this is the thing, if you can't if you're a quarterback in the NFL and you can't read the defense, how can you win the game? You're just randomly playing. So if you don't know how to read defense, if you don't know how to read people, you don't know what you're not aware of what level they're on, then your business is bound to fail. Am I making sense?
Yeah, and another good one too is when you're working on your business, is just colors and logo schemes and things like that. Everything vibrates and has its own frequency. So pay attention to like how companies use logos and colors, and to be able to see that they know what they're doing and they're using the frequency to gain an advantage over the people who can't see the frequencies in their stuff.
I'll give you a perfect example. You reminded me of a story, quick story. I was a teenager. This is when I was a teenager. We used to have, I don't know if you remember, I'm a little bit older than you. You remember back in the days they had in the mall, they had these survey places.
Uh,
People would walk up to you with a clipboard. Hey, you want to take a quick survey?
I know the free sample.
Right. So the quick story. So they approached me in the mall and say, "Hey, we're paying $100 if you sit in on a survey panel." This was like with Mountain Dew and Pepsi and all this shit. Oh, I forgot we were on here. This is Pepsi, Mountain Dew, Coca Cola. It was on a panel, right? And we were picking out the bottle shape, the colors, and all of this stuff. We're what bottle shape do you like? What colors do you like? So as a teenager, I'm like, all right, well, red and yellow means hunger and urgency, and this means such and such and such and such, and this means such and such and such and such. And everybody in the panel, was looking at me like, what the hell is this guy talking about?
And you were a
So
teenager when you figured that
I
out?
was a teenager, so I knew the differences between like the logos and the shapes and the colors just from studying them, just studying in business. So I was already on a different frequency as a teenager than everybody. Everybody was looking like me, at me like I was weird.
For sure. Most people don't think about that stuff when they're kids.
So everybody else was like, "Oh, the color, I like the pretty." Nah, it's like, you put this, and this together, orange and red and yellow. That means hunger.
Mhm. Yeah,
This means that.
Reese's, right?
Yeah,
Reese's.
blue means sad, calm. You know what I mean? So, and this was I think I was like 19 at the time, and
Mhm.
so perfect story to what I'm talking about. Like if you're on a certain frequency and people around you are not, you're gonna seem weird. You're gonna be it's gonna be counterproductive. So you want to get people not, and a lot of entrepreneurs get this wrong, especially the ones that like to dictate. People they want to have people subordinate to them, and you're gonna fail because everybody will be looking toward you. You
Mhm.
actually want to get people around you that are smarter and that inspire you. That's
Yeah.
who you want around you because you have no choice but to step your game up. So a lot of people want the dummies around the grunts. You're gonna get grunt work.
Yep.
That's just what it is. So a lot of people don't like to be challenged at all.
Yeah, and the amazing thing is, like, say if you have the people like your employees or your fellows, and they might not be vibrating as high as you, but you give them the opportunity to be able to see what it takes to be able to, with their own eyes, they witness the magic. I wouldn't say like grunts or anything, but people who are real smart, who are capable, who understand a lot of things, who just need a little bit of a push. That's when the real magic starts to happen too.
I think you got to put them accordingly. Like I say, people that are still not there, you need a little push. I don't know if I would go into business with them. I would have them prove themselves to me first before they could go into either go into business or be an employee. So I will make them do obstacles before I could you get on the level. People
Yeah,
that's on my same frequency or better, that's who people I could hire or do business with. That's just what it is. That's where I'm at. I don't want to settle for less.
yeah,
People that's not on the frequency that I got to explain this stuff to and they're blocked off. Nah, you're gonna have to impress me.
Well, a good example would be like Bob Iger, right? The CEO for Disney. He started as a Disney cast member, I think maybe even like as a janitor,
Uh,
and he was able to have the opportunity to grow and push himself, But sometimes people, that's like a rare occasion, obviously, but I mean, it happens. Like sometimes
right.
you
You
have,
got if you gotta obviously. I think what happens is people, and this I'm guilty of this as well. I want the best for you. I want better for you than you want for yourself. Sometimes a lot of people don't want it, and I want you to have it more than you want you to have it. So a lot of people don't want the responsibility. They don't want to respond to their abilities. It just is what it is. So when you push stuff on their lap that they're not ready for and they don't really want, that's when you're bound to fail. My thing is now, and this is perfect to what I. This is perfect uh, ending to the actual show. The conclusion is that let them work for it. Let them prove and let them grow. Let them be able to come in and if they want to vibrate on this frequency, let them work for it. Let them pay for it.
yeah,
Don't just give it to them. And that's what I'm doing as well. Just with my I used to be giving for free. I have free seminar, give part of my whole systems. Give it to people just glassy eyed. But if I charge you for it, now I'm gonna charge $1,000 a head. All right, either you're gonna do business with me, or if you don't want to do business with me, that's fine. You don't like my beer, you don't like, whatever. All right, cool. Pay me $1,000, and I give you the system. I give you a 2 hour, 3 hour conversation. I can tell you my system from A to Z. You can take it and do whatever with it. But I'm not just gonna give stuff anymore because people are not ready for it. Think about it. We
for
talked about
sure.
this yesterday, right? If you either I talked with you yesterday, I talked with somebody about this at the barbershop the other day. Some people are not ready for the truth. If I give you the keys to this Lambo, what are you gonna do? You're gonna crash it. You're gonna joyride, and you're gonna run it into a tree. So some people are not ready for this responsibility of handling the truth. You have to be certain seasoned to where I'm gonna take this Lambo and I'm gonna drive responsibly with it.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? Certain people are not there yet. They're gonna do a donut and they're gonna kill somebody.
Yeah,
You see? So
yeah,
sometimes everybody's not ready for this truth. You gotta
and
earn this truth.
and I think that's it's a good thing to do because without experience itself, right, to understand what you're capable of, people in general, just speaking as a whole, just like just people in general, like a lot of times we don't know where our limits are, especially if you've never been taught what your limits are, and so for people who are going through it all, it's important to realize just calm, breathe. Everything is vibrating, everything is speaking to you. So just take it in and learn from it. Even if you make a couple mistakes along the way, they're good mistakes because in the end, in the business side of things, like you won't make those same mistakes twice. You've learned from it. You've grown. You've understand like how the frequencies affect, I guess, your overall situation.
Right. I mean, and just a side note before we get out of here, I'm doing this on everything. I'm no longer just giving loyalty. Like I've changed barbers. I'm about to change. Cameraman is like, nah. People that I've been just automatically giving loyalty to because I met you, and you're not doing anything to earn my business. I'm not doing that anymore. Like, if I'm the customer, you got to constantly earn my business, even if we're cool or not. So I'm not going for the mistreatment in 2020. So if you
Yeah,
take me for granted and you think that I'm obligated to do something for you or do business with you, you're sadly mistaken. And business owners, you need to wise up with that as well. Like a lot of people take your customers for granted and don't know they could fire you at any time.
yeah,
The customers is your boss, so you need to be on the up and up at all times, earning their business. People see a lot of people think they're entitled to business. You're not entitled to anything. You have to earn people's business. And people, that's my motto in 2020. Like, I'm not going to automatically ordain you and make you entitled to not only my business, my service, my knowledge, my presence. All that is a blessing
Yeah.
that I'm starting to realize. So not automatically just give it to somebody, because not only do they take it for granted, but if they're not mature enough to handle it, they're going to crash the car.
Yeah, and that's why it's called this time period we're entering, the 20s. Is I think a lot of people are going to just on a mental plane. I think a lot of people are going to be able to see that in the real world for the first time in a long time. We're going to have a huge boom with business and overall growth. Because if you think about, if everyone stopped getting in each other's way, right? Like if everyone like actually understood what you just said about the business world, about how it's changing and how it's special and it evolves and we make it evolve. Business grows like ebbs and flows, and so we're about to hit this time period where it's going to be really good for a lot of people if you jump on it. It's the roaring 20s for a reason. It's we're all going to be growing together. It's going to be nice.
Well, I think the divide is going to be even more apparent. You know,
I would agree, but for the business world though, it's going to be good though. Like
right,
overall,
right. So you're going to see more and more millionaires, and that's what the show is about. Especially people that watch our show and you take our advice and actually do something. This is the thing. This is why I was talking to somebody that wanted me to mentor them the other day, and I said you could easily breeze by 90% of the people just by doing something, just by getting up in the morning, doing something, doing your job. You breeze by 90% of the population, because most people don't want to do anything. They want to do minimal effort as possible and get maximum yield. And I don't know what planet they're on. I don't know where this is logical, but it's logical in their mind. They want to do as minimal as possible and get paid for it. They really don't want to even do anything. They really just want money deposited into their account. And that's it. So they really don't want to do anything for it. And those people are going to fall by the wayside here. They're not going to be able to survive. They're going to be broke here in the next 10 to 20 years, where they're not going to be able to survive. So again, this is what I talk about on the eight blog, should I say, is what you do is what you truly are. If you are minimalist, you want to do as minimal as possible. You don't do any reading. You don't do anything to better yourself. You're going to be stuck in this vibrating low in this human experience until you decide to do something.
mm-hmm.
And you're going to be back. You're going to keep on coming back. So us doers, us those who realize that this is a matter of you can do anything, but as long as you do,
Yeah,
and you do it to the fullest extent. And by doing so, if you can move to the next level by impacting lives. So once you impact lives, because what happens is you stop searching for the light and you become the light for other people.
yep,
And once you get to that, that's when all right, I can go to the next phase. But if you don't do nothing, you're stuck in the mud. You know, it just is what it is, man. We're not gonna keep it right at the 33 mark, which is perfect. So let's go ahead and take it out. Stephen, tell them where they can find you real quick.
yes. You can find me on Instagram, Stephen Contreras 90. You can follow me on Facebook, Stephen Contreras. I'm here in Houston, Texas. You guys ever just want to message me or want to grab a bite to eat or something, talk, just talk the shit, just having fun. Just send me a direct message, something like that. And yeah, let's go Texans. Texans play today, so hopefully it'll be a good one for the city of Houston.
Right. Again, at Billionaire Loan Officer on all platforms. We got to get the five. Our goal is by the end of the year to get to 5,000 subscribers. Let's go ahead and make it. Also, we need those watch hours as well. Go ahead and leave it in like conditioner, man. Leave it. Go ahead, press play, and let our whole playlist play overnight. for those who are Power of Ownership podcast fans. We need those watch hours. So um, go ahead and start watching us, man. Watch us all. Get all your friends on it. Put your friends on it, man. Send the links. Put your friends on. If you get information from this that can help better your life, go ahead and share it. That's all we're asking you to do. Again, www.hocmortgage.com. If you want to start the journey of home ownership, I'm ready and available. www.billionaireloanofficer.com. Go ahead if you want to book me for an event. Did I tell you about the event on the fort, man? I damn near people. I had a line of people trying to talk to me.
Uh,
Yeah,
Congratulations. That's cool.
yeah. So it's just this is just the beginning. So as we get bigger, it's going to get bigger and bigger. Um, Call me 832-775-8357. Again, if you have loan questions, if you have sales training questions, call me. Let's go from there. Remember, like I always say, God is a verb, and personal responsibility is your only savior. Join us next week, and we're going to be talking about a different topic. Stay tuned, and we're going to reveal that topic sometime during the week. So, with that, we're going to say
Peace.
peace.